I stare at the slip of paper on my parents' kitchen counter, unable to process the words printed in my mother's precise font. Wedding canceled. Expect legal contact. Mom. My wedding planning binder slips from my fingers, hitting the tiled floor with a dull thud. Photos of the historic Magnolia Gardens venue, my dream location since childhood, scatter across the kitchen floor. The glossy images mock me as they slide under the kitchen table where my family has shared Sunday dinners for decades. 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks until what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I snatch up my phone, fingers trembling as I dial my mother. Straight to voicemail. My father's phone does the same. Even my sister Brooke's cheerful greeting plays in my ear without the option to leave a message. My text messages show as undelivered, blue bubbles turning to exclamation points. This can't be happening, I whisper to the empty kitchen. The venue deposit paperwork sits untouched beside the note, the final payment due stamp in bold red letters across the top, a payment I personally delivered last week. Last month's family dinner flashes through my memory. Mother swirling her wine, her voice casual yet cutting. The stonework at Magnolia Gardens photographs poorly in afternoon light, Lila. Brooke's taste would have led her to that charming lakeside venue instead. Brooke had nodded, eyes gleaming. The Spencer Hotel has those gorgeous fountain terraces. The wedding photos would be magazine-worthy. I remember how I'd gripped my fork tighter, forcing a smile. Ryan and I love Magnolia Gardens. The history there means something to us. Father had patted my hand. We know what's best, sweetheart. You'll thank us for steering you right. Just like they'd steered me right about my college major and my first apartment, and every decision they deemed important enough to manage for me. 3 days ago, Mother handed me what she called a budget management form while we reviewed floral arrangements. Just a formality, she'd said, tapping where I should sign. So we can handle any last-minute expenses without bothering you. I'd signed without reading, trusting, stupid. My hands stop shaking as I dial the venue. The phone rings 4 times before a hesitant voice answers. Magnolia Gardens, this is Jeanette. This is Lila Carter. I understand there's been some communication about my wedding being canceled. My voice comes out steadier than I feel. A pause. Papers shuffling. Miss Carter, yes. Your mother assured us this was a mutual family decision. She came by yesterday with the signed transfer forms. Transfer forms? The room tilts slightly. For the venue change. The Carter wedding is still in our books, just different details now. I grip the counter edge, my knuckles whitening. I need access to my account information. Immediately. I'll need to speak with Mrs. Carter first. Family account permissions. Number. The word comes out sharp, surprising us both. The payments came from my personal account. I have records of every transaction. This is my wedding, not a family committee decision. Jeanette's voice lowers. Miss Carter, I sympathize, but your mother has already changed all passwords to the shared wedding portal. She said you were having difficulties coping with wedding stress. The floor seems to drop away beneath me. Every vendor account we'd created together. Every payment platform where my parents had insisted on helping me set up profiles. All those times they'd asked for my login information just in case. $34,200. My personal savings from 4 years of nonprofit work. Every dollar I'd carefully set aside while my colleagues splurged on new cars and vacations. All of it now locked behind accounts I couldn't access. As I stare at the note on the counter, a lifetime of similar moments crystallizes before me. The college application my mother filled out to save me time. The apartment lease my father reviewed and fixed by changing my preferences. The promotion I nearly lost when my parents called my boss about my excessive work hours. Always under the guise of love, always for my own good. This time is different. This time, they've gone too far. The next day, the morning sun filters through my kitchen blinds as I scroll through emails on my phone, searching for any clue about what happened. A new message from cousin Melissa pops up with the subject line, Carter Wedding Logistics, Update. I tap it open, expecting nothing but another dead end. My coffee mug freezes halfway to my lips as I read, Hi everyone. Just confirming the final head count for Brooke's bridal shower next Saturday. Mom's handling the decorations. Remember, the theme is Garden Romance to match her Magnolia Gardens venue. Can't wait to celebrate our beautiful bride. My stomach clenches so hard I nearly double over. Attached are several images, my centerpiece designs, my flower arrangements, my carefully selected menu cards, all with Brooke's name where mine should be. I scroll further down to find a reply from Brooke herself. Thanks for handling this. At least now the pictures will be cute. The kitchen counter becomes my anchor, as black spots dance across my vision. This wasn't some last-minute decision. This was planned. Coordinated. My sister is taking my wedding. My parents are helping her do it. Later that morning, I push through the polished glass doors of Elegance Bridal Boutique, the bell announcing my arrival with cheerful ignorance of my purpose. Marianne, the owner who had spent hours helping me find my perfect dress, glances up from behind the counter. Her eyes widen before darting away. "Lila," she says, fingers suddenly busy with a stack of order forms. "I wasn't expecting you today. I need to see my dress, Marianne." Her shoulders tense beneath her cream blouse. "I'm afraid there's been a change in the arrangement. The family account—" "What family account?" My voice comes out sharper than I intended. "I paid the deposit from my personal checking account." Marianne slides a folder across the counter without meeting my eyes. The paperwork was updated last week, signed by the family representative. Inside is an invoice identical to mine, except for one critical detail. "Client, Brooke Carter," is typed where my name should be. The alterations are nearly complete. Marianne continues, her voice artificially bright. The waist needed to be taken in considerably, of course, since Brooke is more petite than... "Stop." The word comes out like a command, surprising us both. "When was this changed?" Marianne finally looks at me, pity swimming in her eyes. "Your mother called 3 weeks ago to discuss the possibility. The paperwork came through last Thursday." 3 weeks. While I was sending out invitations. While I was tasting cakes with Ryan. While my mother was helping me choose floral arrangements. My phone buzzes with an Instagram notification. With trembling fingers, I open it to find professional engagement photos of Brooke and her fiancé James at Magnolia Gardens. My venue, my dream. They're standing beneath the ancient oak where Ryan and I plan to exchange vows, posted 20 minutes ago, already filled with congratulatory comments. I drive to Ryan's apartment in a daze, mentally calculating the damage. $34,200. My entire savings from 4 years of nonprofit work. Every dollar carefully set aside while my colleagues bought new cars and took European vacations. All of it now locked behind accounts I cannot access. "They're saying what?" Ryan paces across his living room, running his hand through his hair. That I had some kind of breakdown. That I backed out after becoming overwhelmed. My voice sounds hollow even to my own ears. "Your mother called you, didn't she?" Ryan stops pacing. "How did you know?" "Because they're thorough. They always are." I stare at my hands, suddenly aware of how small they look. "They're telling everyone I'm unstable." Ryan sits beside me, his weight shifting the couch cushions. "My mom asked if you were getting professional help. She said your parents were concerned about your emotional health." The pieces click into place with sickening clarity. This isn't just about a wedding. It's about discrediting me entirely. If everyone believes I'm unstable, no one will believe me when I fight back. My phone chimes with an email notification from an address I don't recognize. The subject line reads simply, "For Lila Carter, Privet." I open it to find a message from someone identifying themselves only as J, from Magnolia Gardens. "Miss Carter, I can't put my name on this, but what's happening isn't right. Attached are copies of your original contracts and payment receipts. I've also included the signature page your mother submitted last week. You may need these. Attached are PDFs of every document I signed, every check I wrote, every email I sent confirming my choices for MY Wedding." As I drive home clutching that manila folder of evidence, I wonder, should I confront my family immediately with what I've found, or quietly build my case first? The satisfaction of seeing their shocked faces tempts me, but patience might give me the stronger position. What would you do when the people who should protect you become the ones you need protection from? 2 days later, I drop onto my couch as the courier walks away, leaving me with a thick envelope bearing my family's attorney's letterhead. My fingers tremble as I tear it open, scanning the legal jargon until the accusations hit me like physical blows. Misappropriated funds, unauthorized venue upgrades, mental instability affecting financial decisions. "They're suing me," I whisper to my empty living room. My phone buzzes with a text from Jenna, my maid of honor. "Sorry, can't make lunch today. Swamped at work. The 3rd cancellation this week." Ryan sits beside me, his jaw tight as he reads over my shoulder. "This is insane. They're claiming you stole from yourself?" They know exactly what they're doing. I let the papers fall to my coffee table. It's not about winning a lawsuit. It's about creating enough doubt that everyone questions me instead of them. The strategy works perfectly. By evening, my social media notifications dwindle to nothing. My texts go unanswered. Even coworkers avoid eye contact in the hallway, as if my family problems might be contagious. That night, I pull out the budget management form I'd signed without reading. Under the innocent title lurks paragraph 6. Signy hereby grants joint access and control to Denise Carter for all wedding related accounts and authorizes transfer of funds between accounts as necessary for budget optimization. Sleep becomes a luxury I can't afford. I spend nights at my kitchen table, laptop glowing as I reconstruct a timeline. Each memory takes new shape under scrutiny. Mother directing me away from promotions that would take me out of state, father reviewing apartment applications, then mysteriously losing the ones for buildings he disliked. Brooke always positioned to receive admiration while I received guidance. Tell me I'm not crazy, I whisper to Ryan on the third sleepless night. We sit surrounded by scattered papers, printouts of text messages, and bank statements. Have they always been like this? You're not crazy. Ryan gathers the papers into a manila folder he labels restitution in bold black marker. You're just finally seeing clearly. I stare at the growing folder. I've spent so many years trying to earn their approval. What if I've been fighting for something that was never available to me? The phone rings while I'm sorting receipts the next afternoon. A number I haven't seen in years. Lila? Nathan's voice sounds exactly as I remember from college. I saw what's happening with your family on Facebook. I needed to check on you. I'm hanging in there, I say, surprised by how steady my voice remains. Just trying to make sense of everything. There's something you should know. He hesitates. Your mom came to see me senior year. She said you'd been diagnosed with anxiety, that if I loved you, I'd leave so you could heal. I believed her. I'm so sorry. The revelation should hurt, but instead, a puzzle piece clicks into place. Thank you for telling me, I say, adding this to my mental timeline of manipulation. The next morning, I drive to my parents' house, restitution folder tucked under my arm. Through the front window, I see Mother directing florists arranging centerpieces, my centerpieces on the dining table. Father speaks animatedly on the phone, gesturing toward the garden where a white arch now stands. Mother's smile freezes when she opens the door. Lila, this isn't a good time. It never island. I step past her into the foyer where I've stood 1,000 times before. The family photos lining the staircase show Brooke front and center, my smile always slightly dimmer, positioned slightly behind. You're still upset, Mother says, smoothing her cashmere sweater. We understand, but this dramatic behavior needs to stop. You're facing a lawsuit, Father adds, joining us. The smart move is to drop this before you damage everyone's reputation. Everything we've done has been to protect you from yourself, Mother says, reaching to pat my arm. I step back. No, I say, my voice stronger than I've ever heard it. You've been protecting your image of me, not the real me. I open the restitution folder, laying out copies of contracts bearing my signature, bank statements showing transfers from my personal account, email screenshots from vendors confirming my original instructions. You can change passwords, but you can't erase paper trails, I say, watching their expressions shift from condescension to concern. You taught me to keep excellent records, remember? Mother reaches for the folder. These are family matters. Number. These are legal matters now. A strange lightness fills my chest as I realize I don't need them to understand or approve. I just need them to stop. I don't need your permission to defend myself. That evening, Ryan and his friend Marcus, a civil litigation attorney, sit at my kitchen table reviewing my evidence folder. The voice recording from Thanksgiving is damning. Marcus says, tapping the flash drive, your mother saying Lila's fine. Brooke's the one with potential. Then your father suggesting they redirect your wedding budget. Will it be enough? I ask. More than enough for a preliminary injunction. Marcus looks directly at me, not with pity but respect. You've built a stronger case than most of my professional clients. Ryan squeezes my hand. You've always been methodical. They just never thought you'd use it against them. I nod, noticing how I no longer look at the floor when discussing my case. How my voice doesn't waver when I name what happened. How my spine straightens when I advocate for myself. That night, I finish organizing my comprehensive evidence file. Every receipt chronologically arranged, every email printed, voice recordings transcribed and dated. And at the back, my secret advantage, the Thanksgiving 2021 recording where Mother tells Father, "Lila's fine. Brooke's the one with potential. She deserves the better launch." As I close the folder, my phone chimes with a notification. My stomach drops as I read the Instagram alert. "Denise Carter has mentioned you in a post. Heartbroken as we watch our eldest daughter struggle with issues that have affected her judgment. Please respect our privacy during this difficult time." I set the phone down, a cold clarity washing over me. The real battle has just begun. Next morning, I sit across from my attorney, Charlotte Weiss, watching as she arranges my evidence into neat stacks. The conference room smells of leather-bound books and lemonwood polish. My hands no longer tremble. "Your documentation is remarkably thorough," Charlotte says, tapping her pen against a spreadsheet tracking every wedding payment. "Most clients bring feelings. You brought facts." I learned from experience. My family only respects paper trails. Charlotte nods, sliding the completed civil counterclaim toward me. The allegations stand bold on the page: fraud, unjust enrichment, defamation, breach of fiduciary duty. Each count connects to dated records, transaction receipts, and communication logs. Years of nonprofit work taught me to document everything. This filing requests immediate injunctive relief. Charlotte explains, "Based on your evidence, we're asking the judge to grant you temporary control over the disputed assets while the investigation proceeds." I sign my name at the bottom, the pen pressing firmly against paper. No more hesitation. No more second chances. 3 days later, Judge Marion calls both parties to chambers. Mother sits beside her attorney, pearl necklace gleaming under fluorescent lights, her face a practiced mask of concern. Father stands behind her chair, hand on her shoulder. Brooke took a convenient mental health day from appearing. The judge studies the documentation, his glasses perched low on his nose. "These financial records are compelling, Miss Carter. I'm granting temporary control of the disputed wedding accounts to the plaintiff pending further investigation." Mother's mask slips for just a second, a flash of fury before the composed concern returns. Outside the courthouse, I take my first deep breath in weeks. That evening, my phone lights up with notifications. Brooke has posted a tearful story on Instagram, her voice breaking as she speaks directly to the camera. "I'm so worried about my sister," she says, dabbing at perfectly dry eyes. "We're all concerned about her mental state. This wedding pressure became too much, and now she's making these wild accusations. Please send love and support. She needs help, not criticism." Ryan calls within minutes. "Have you seen Brooke's post?" "Just now." "It's backfiring spectacularly," he says. "Charlotte thinks it's perfect for our case. She's already filed to add it as evidence in your defamation claim." The next morning, Judge Marion issues a new order, an independent financial audit of all wedding accounts. Mother's carefully constructed narrative begins crumbling under actual scrutiny. Later that week, Charlotte suggests a strategy I hadn't considered. "We should make your case public, counter their narrative with transparency." I stare out her office window at the oak trees lining the courthouse square. When my attorney suggested we make this case public to counter the narrative my family had created, I hesitated. Would exposing my family's actions bring justice, or would it just create more pain for everyone involved? Sometimes the hardest decisions are between justice and peace. But my family chose this battlefield. They made it public first. Ryan proves himself in ways I never anticipated. He creates a detailed timeline of events, supported by our text messages and emails, then shares it privately with our closest friends. The carefully crafted falsehood my family spread starts coming apart thread by thread. "Your parents called me twice last week. My college roommate Jess tells me over coffee. Your mom insisted you were having some kind of breakdown, but the timeline Ryan shared, that's not what happened at all, is it?" The venue manager, Jeanette, contacts Charlotte voluntarily. Her written statement details the pressure my mother applied, including thinly veiled threats about the venue's reputation among certain social circles if they didn't accommodate the transfer requests. Your mother implied she could influence whether the Historical Society renewed their preservation grant. Jeanette explains when we meet. I should have questioned it more, but your mother was very convincing. Public opinion shifts slowly, then all at once. Friends who had distanced themselves reach out with apologies and support. Acquaintances stop asking how I'm feeling with that particular tone that suggests mental fragility. One Tuesday morning, I notice something strange. Brooke's celebratory wedding posts have vanished from social media. Her unwell sister narrative disappears next. The comments on her remaining posts had turned decidedly unsympathetic as people connected the dots. Mother calls that afternoon. First time in weeks. "This has gotten out of hand," she says, voice tight. "We're prepared to offer a partial reimbursement if you'll drop these ridiculous allegations." "The court date is already set, Mother." "Lila, be reasonable. Do you really want to air family matters in public?" "I think about all the times I stayed quiet to keep peace. All the times I was reasonable while they were anything but. You made this public when you told everyone I had a breakdown. The hearing stays on the calendar." The line goes silent for a moment. "You've changed." For the first time in my life, I recognize it as a compliment. "Yes," I say, "I have." On the family gathering day, I stand in my parents' living room, surrounded by the people who should have been my strongest advocates. Instead, they sit like practiced performers, waiting for their cues. My father perches on the edge of his leather armchair, fingers drumming a nervous rhythm against the armrest. Mother clutches her pearl necklace, twisting it so tightly, I wonder if the string might snap. Brooke dabs at the corners of her eyes with a tissue, the dramatic tears she's perfected since childhood. "Sweetheart, this has gone far enough." Father says, his voice strained with forced calm, "We're your family. We only want what's best." Mother nods, leaning forward. "The stress of planning was clearly too much. We simply stepped in when you weren't coping well." "The doctors would agree," Brooke adds, her voice wobbling with rehearsed emotion. "Remember your anxiety attacks in college? Those therapy sessions?" Mother's eyes narrow slightly. "Those records would paint a very different picture than the one you're presenting to the court. If this continues, we might need to share them." The threat hangs in the air between us, 3 against 1, just like always. I reach into my bag and pull out my phone, tapping the screen twice before setting it on the coffee table. "Recording stopped," announces the mechanical voice. The color drains from my mother's face. Father's drumming fingers freeze mid-tap. Brooke's theatrical tears dry instantly. "You've been recording us?" Mother whispers, "Yes." I open my laptop and turn it toward them, just like I've been documenting everything else. A spreadsheet fills the screen, every transaction meticulously cataloged. Each Venmo payment, every bank transfer, all labeled urgent venue deposit, catering final payment, photographer retainer, $34,200. I say, voice steady. My money, not family funds, not shared resources, mine. I scroll through emails, texts, voice memos, 4 years of savings methodically stolen and redirected. Then there's this. I click open an audio file. Mother's voice fills the room. "If you love him, you'll sign it, or you'll ruin what we built for you." Brooke shifts uncomfortably. "You're twisting things out of context." "No more twisting," I say. "No more manipulation. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm demanding restitution." Father stands, towering over me as he's done my entire life. "You ungrateful." "Sit down, Richard." Mother's voice cuts like glass. She turns to me, eyes calculating. "What do you want?" "Everything that's rightfully mine." I close my laptop, "and for you to face the consequences of your actions." 2 days later, I stand on the courthouse steps, the morning sun warming my face. My attorney, Melissa, gives me a slight nod as the preliminary hearing concludes. The judge's words still ring in my ears. Sufficient evidence to proceed with the plaintiff's claims. I pull out my phone and open Instagram. "Are you sure about this?" Ryan asks beside me, his hand warm on my shoulder. "Absolutely." I tap post on the carousel. I've prepared 50 slides of unfiltered evidence. No commentary needed. Just the raw documentation. Bank statements showing my payments, the contracts with my signature, the transfer forms with my forged approval, audio transcripts with highlighted sections. The final slide contains a 7-second clip from Thanksgiving 3 years ago. Mother's voice crystal clear. "If you love him, you'll sign it. Or you'll ruin what we built for you." My phone buzzes almost immediately. Brooke's name flashes on the screen. "Take it down!" she screams when I answer. "Everyone's seeing it. Our friends, Dad's colleagues." "That's the point," I say quietly. "No more secrets. You've ruined everything." I laugh. surprising myself with the genuine relief in the sound. No, Brooke, you three did that when you stole my wedding. The courthouse doors open behind me. Melissa emerges, waving a document. The judge granted your request, she says, grinning. You have control over all disputed funds pending trial. My phone keeps buzzing with notifications as the post spreads. Ryan squeezes my hand. Their emotional claims didn't stand a chance against your evidence, Melissa says. Family manipulation relies on privacy. You've stripped that away. As we walk down the steps, I notice a courier approaching. Lila Carter? He asks, holding out a tablet for my signature. The certified envelope feels heavy in my hands. My parents' attorney's firm name gleams in the corner. Settlement offer? Melissa guesses. I tuck the letter into my bag without opening it. Let them wait. I've waited long enough. Ryan's phone chimes. He checks it, eyebrows rising. Your post has been shared over 3,000 times. People are using receipts, not regrets. For the first time in weeks, I smile without reservation. The truth, finally visible to everyone, feels like the wedding gift I truly deserved. 2 months later, morning sun streams through Lauren's office windows, casting warm light across the polished conference table where we sit surrounded by file folders and steaming coffee. Her law degree hangs on the wall behind her, a reminder of our shared past at Columbia before life pulled us in different directions. So this advocacy nonprofit, Lauren says, leaning forward. Tell me more about the financial independence program. I open my laptop, pulling up a PowerPoint I created last night. My voice doesn't waver as I explain. We'll teach women how to document financial coercion. Most don't realize they need to save every text message, every email. 2 months ago, I would have called my mother before this meeting, seeking her approval on my presentation. Today, I speak with certainty that comes from standing on my own. Look at this documentation template. I say, turning the screen toward Lauren. Women can track manipulation patterns, keep copies of all financial documents, the way I did. Lauren studies the spreadsheet with admiration. You've transformed your pain into something powerful. I had to, I reply, fingers tapping confidently on the keyboard. Some lessons cost $34,200 to learn. The drive to my childhood home takes 18 minutes. Each familiar turn brings memories, family dinners, holiday gatherings, whispered criticisms disguised as concern. The sprawling colonial sits behind manicured hedges, just as imposing as it was the day I found that note on the kitchen counter. This time, I don't hesitate at the front door. I don't check my appearance in the car mirror to ensure I meet my mother's standards. I use my key for the last time and walk straight to the kitchen table where everything fell apart. The manila envelope makes a satisfying thud against the polished mahogany. Inside, settlement papers with my parents' signatures already in place, and the deed release form relinquishing my claim to any family property. I'm not here to explain or apologize. I say to the empty room, just to close this chapter. I place my house key beside the envelope. The sound of it hitting the table echoes with finality. Back at my house, Ryan has arranged a small gathering on our back deck. 6 friends who never wavered, who believed me when rumors swirled about my instability. They've decorated with twinkling lights and uncorked a bottle of champagne I'd been saving for my wedding day. To truth, Ryan says, raising his glass in the golden evening light, and receipts. Laughter ripples through our circle, healing in its simplicity. To evidence, adds Sarah, who testified about my mother's manipulation of the caterer. To new beginnings, I say, my voice steady as the setting Sunday. The following week, I hang the framed settlement check in my new office. $27,850 written in black ink, the memo line reading, reimbursement, dress, venue, damages. Beside it, a small placard. Carter and Wells Legal Advocacy for Women. A nervous young woman sits across from me, clutching a folder of receipts. Her hands shake the way mine once did. Start with the most recent documents, I tell her, sliding over the organization template I've created. We'll build your case from there. As she sorts her papers, determination replacing fear in her eyes, I glance at the framed check on my wall. Some family bonds are meant to be broken rather than repaired. What would you choose? Trying to rebuild a relationship built on control, or creating something new with people who respect your boundaries? I already know my answer.